Hello, Professor. My name is Stephanie Fitzgerald, and this video is for the last two general education competencies. The first one I will discuss is critical thinking. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze and interpret insightfully and in depth. For this competency, I will use my essay that I wrote for my pharmacology class about the possible benefits of trazodone for use in dogs that are hospitalized in a clinic. In this assignment, I had to take a scientific article about a specific drug and answer some questions in an essay form about what I read. The first question was asking what I thought based on the article and what conclusions the authors were trying to make and what question they were trying to answer. I said in this essay that I believe the research question that the authors are attempting to undertake in this study is, does trazodone have a beneficial effect or reduce or lessen the behavioral/stress signs associated with dogs being hospitalized? This is an example of taking a position while taking into account the complexities of the issue. I also wrote about the pharmacological functions that the drug performs and what effects it could have with other drugs as well. I had to keep the viewpoints of the authors in mind while reading this study and while writing this paper to make sure that I accurately described what they were trying to say and prove in this study. Following that, I had to answer the question of, based on the data, what can you say about the accuracy of the hypothesis given by the authors in the beginning of the article? I talked about how they split up two groups of dogs and gave the drug a certain way and how that produced these specific results after I synthesized the data. They were split into two different types of groups and given two different types of trazodone in order to produce these effects. At the end, I had to ask questions if I could talk to the authors of this article and would have them to want to answer. These questions were more related to species and the consequences that the drug could have on them as well. As well, here I cited my article in proper MLA format for the article that I used to write the paper. The second competency I will talk about is quantitative reasoning, which is the ability to use established methods of computation and contemporary technology to analyze issues and answer questions germane to their environment. For this one, I will explain using a dosage calculation question that I have in my pharmacology class. This question is a multi-step process, and I will show you how to do each step and relate it to the competency. So this question says, a 44-pound Australian Shepherd is having surgery to clean and repair his bite wounds. Intra and post-operatively, he is expected to be very painful, so the veterinarian requests that you start him on fentanyl, lidocaine, and ketamine CRI. The fentanyl dose is 3 micrograms per kg per hour, and the concentration is 50 micrograms per mil. The dose of lidocaine is 50 micrograms per kg per minute, supplied as a 2% concentration. And the dose for ketamine is 4 micrograms per kilogram per minute and is supplied as 100 milligrams per milliliter. You will add these drugs to a bag of lactated ringer solution so that the total volume in the fluid bag is 1,000 milliliters. The fluids will be then administered at 30 milliliters per hour. How many milliliters of each drug will be added to the fluid bag? So the first thing I do in this problem is divide the 44 pounds by 2.2 to get it converted to kilograms. I wrote out the concentrations and dosages of each drug on the side for easier reference. The next part is to take each dosage of each drug and multiply them all by the kilograms of the animal. This gives me 60 micrograms per hour for fentanyl, 1,000 micrograms per minute for lidocaine, and 80 micrograms per minute for ketamine. So the next part is to take the drugs in micrograms per hour or minute and multiply them by their supplied concentrations. Some of them were in mg per ml, so I had to convert the micrograms to milligrams by using a conversion factor of 1,000 micrograms per 1 milligram. This ends me up with 1.2 milliliters per hour for fentanyl, 0.05 milliliters per minute for lidocaine, and 0.0008 milliliters per minute for ketamine. Before moving on to the next big part of this problem, I had to convert the drugs who were still in minutes to hours. I then multiplied the milliliters per hour drugs by the rate of 30 milliliters per hour to get how much of each drug was in 1 milliliter of solution. Once I found that out, I had to find out how many milliliters of each drug were in a 1,000 milliliter fluid bag of lactated ringer solution. This problem I showed proves the competency of quantitative reasoning by drawing conclusions and showing how to solve problems with efficiency and effectively. As you can see, I have shown that I have proven the last two general education competencies. I have shown critical thinking skills through my essay written in pharmacology about trazodone in dogs that are hospitalized, and quantitative reasoning through my dosage problem and steps in pharmacology. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.